Good morning, folks. It's Friday. It's July 6th, 2018. Hope everybody's having a good day. And I just wanted to tell you, um, I hope everybody has a good day today, as I said. And I hope that, some of the stuff I said in last night's video is how I feel and it's the truth. And, I want to make amends with the Shields family, and I hope we can get back together. I mean, all of us. And, I hope that, and I continue to pray that Sharon will get her voice back, and because that's a horrible thing to lose your voice and not to have it for such a long time, to have, well, you can speak, but you got to keep your voice on rest. And I pray that God will take that horrible, will reverse that horrible thing from you and allow you to be able to sing like a pretty bird again and speak normally again. And of course, it's going to get real hot here today in Washington. They're calling for heavy rain tonight, 70%, 75 or 65% chance of rain tonight. But it shows it's going to come in around 9 or 10 o'clock. But sometimes they can be wrong and it can come in earlier. I know last week they said it was going to come in later, and we were riding home in a heavy rainstorm when we went to church last Thursday. And we're going to come back to that church out there where we went last Thursday for Celebrate Recovery. But we didn't go this week because my mom had to take care of some errands yesterday up north in Virginia. So, just hope that she was able to get that all done, and hopefully she'll get back here safely today in Washington, North Carolina, where she lives. So I just wanted to give you some things, but it is Friday, and I hope everybody is having a good. Hope you had a good week, and I hope your day is good too. The Lord isn't the Lord awesome? I mean, He's just so wonderful, isn't He? Jesus is wonderful. I remember singing a song like that. He is so wonderful to me and wonderful to everyone, because that's just the way and how awesome and powerful God really is. It really is. And we have a lot that we often take for granted. Like I said on 4th of July, it probably was the shortest video I've ever done on 4th of July or on any time, but we do have a lot to be thankful for, don't we? I mean, God is so gracious and so good. And then, getting me moved out here, get me away from all that mess, I think was a good thing. And hopefully I can fully adjust and with all the things that are going on. And hopefully the family and I will all come together, the Shields family, and, bring us closer again. And it's everybody. And I hope they come see me this summer. I really do. I hope that they'll come with their parents' permission, and they could come here with the oldest, John. He drives now, so maybe they could come for a week or two, and they could bring their bedding and stuff and be just like old times, because I don't have a bed for anyone to sleep in, so they would have to bring a cover and bring a sleep bag or a sheet, and they could just, lay on the floor. And believe me, it's a big place here. I mean, this place is like 1,000 feet. It's about 1,000 feet. It's about 928 feet where I live. So it's about double. It's about double the space I had before than what I had, over the other place. And the neighbors are nice. I mean, the neighbor below me, she's really nice and sweet. And there's a friend of mine named Ben who comes over here. He's really nice. And matter of fact, when I moved in here, I don't know if I said on the video, he was out on the balcony, see me come over there and look at the place on the 18th, because I already had the keys to my apartment. And I just coming in here just to look at it to see where I was going to, the layout, to see where I could put my things, or at least have a general idea, at least anyway. And, he was really, really, really instrumental, and he helped me unpack things. It was like having a Shields here, really. And that was amazing how God did that. And I believe God brought him in my life, and he brought me into his life. And I think it's good, because we both help each other, and we're both friends. And that's what friends do, essentially, right? And, and That's what real friends do. I mean, you can't find them on the sidewalk. They're not out there every day, but they're like valuable, more valuable than gold dust or gold itself. And when you have genuine friends like that, you don't forget them. You don't leave them. They're always your friends because friends, stay together. And I consider Ben like a brother, because that's the way he acts. He's like a brother. So that like another brother. So, but anyway, he usually comes over here to check on me at least, or to talk to me. I think he's checking on me, but and nevertheless, he comes over here every day around 10 o'clock or so to come over here to chat for a little bit, which is good. And he's a great person. You get to meet him if y'all come. But like I said, I hope to see you, and really would love to hear your voice. And it would be nice to see all of you. And I hope your mom can get over all this stuff and calm down and allow you to come here for a week or two, or maybe a week, and not her to be pulling her hair out while you're here, and hopefully she'll allow that, and parents will let you come here, and they'll come here. Maybe, I mean, they don't have to stay, but, they can, whatever they want to do. I'm all for it. I'm instrumental in that process. It's great that you all helped me move, but I just had to say those other things to get them off my chest last night, because it just seems really weird how all that happened, and now I haven't heard anything from y'all. And I just think it's strange. So, but I hope that's not the case. I don't want to think that's the case. That was just a one-time thing to get me out of the state of Virginia. But I hope that's not the case, and I don't believe it is. I don't want to believe that. But because if it were that way, that's a horrible thing, because my boys, and I know, and even your daughter wants to come down here too. They all want to come down here because the boys have indicated that it's what she wanted to do. She wanted to come that day, but said Sharon wouldn't let her, and their mother wouldn't let her. So, and there's no reason for that, So, I'm just hoping that and praying that things will get more better. So, and Sharon will calm down. This is where a lot of this is coming from. Her listening to all those lies that were said about me on a continuous basis. And I think, she believed it, because that's the kind of stuff she was thinking about in her head too. And that's why she believes that stuff, because she's in agreement with them, with the people over there where I live, that is, where I used to live. Let's move on to other things, though, because I get tired. I don't want to talk about that anymore. I rather report good things and talk about positive things and uplifting things, because this is what this channel is about. So tonight we're going to go to CR, and I think it's going to be a good meeting, Lord willing. But I don't know if we're going to go because, like I said, in the rain, because I don't like my mother to drive in the rain, because it's supposed to rain tonight, and I don't know when it's coming in. As they say later on tonight, but then a lot of times when they say later on tonight, it does come in early, like it did last week. And my mother had to drive home in the rain, and it was really heavy. And probably shouldn't have been out there driving in it. Yes, she don't really like to drive in heavy rain, and I really don't want for her to drive in the rain either, because of that reason, Because when we got home, it was like after dark, and it was raining hard last week. So we may be there tonight, and then again we may not be because of the rain. So my mom doesn't like to drive in the rain. So if we're not there, she'll probably call the sponsor and let her know that she'll probably may do her testimony next week. But anyway, everybody, just keep your prayers on New Hunter Church of Christ. Keep your prayers on my family. Keep your prayers on the Shields family. Don't want no harm or any bad things to happen to any of them, or to happen to my family, here in North Carolina, and also in Florida, and also in Idaho, out there. Please pray for all my family, and pray for the people, that are traveling that are probably at in Illinois this week for the camp thing they have every year that's out in Illinois. Last weekend we went to my uncle's church. It was Poplar Chapel out in Jamesville, and we went out there and we celebrated the 4th of July. Me and my mother and a friend that she had that I met by the name of Angela, and it was my mother's friend, just to make that clear. And she's really nice and laughable, and she's a sweet person and kind of a nice, soul. And she's fun to talk to, and and she's got a nice smile. But like I say, she's a really nice Christian girl, and I just met her that day, and she seems really friendly and really nice. And of course, my mom has a nice friend, because that's the friend she was telling me about, and she's really, really nice, who she met when they went to see that concert up in Nag's Head the week before last. They went to go see, what's that group that y'all like? That group that y'all like, the Shields. Y'all like that group. Like Toby Mac. Yeah. They went to go see him live in concert at Nag's Head just last week when he was there, the venue, when he was there. It was outside, and my mom said it was really, really nice, and she and both Angela were up there getting pictures, and my mom couldn't get some good pictures, but Angela got some real good pictures. I've seen them on her iPhone, and they really looked, a lot of them looked really, 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 really good. So, so Angela sent her some pictures, and now my mother has some good pictures from that concert. But Toby Mac, I didn't go. But he's a pop musician, and he sings some rap. I said pop musician, like contemporary pop. And he does all Christian music, and he's a godly man. He was talking about baptism. That's what my mother said at the concert, talking about how you're supposed to be baptized by the water, through immersion. And I thought that was really good, because lots of singers that are gospel don't always talk about or stress about that. And I think if I was up there doing a tour, I would talk about things like that, because that's so important. It's like rock moving important, because those are the real key fundamentals or core values of why you're a Christian, is because of Jesus Christ's death and burial and resurrection. And when that stone was rolled away, it's kind of what happens to us when we get baptized. We get raised when we come up out of the water, but not 3 days like Jesus did, but immediately. And our life starts changing from that moment or point on. And that is what Toby Mac talked about at the concert and touched on. That's what I heard from my mother. And I think it is so wonderful that a musician like that can talk about things like that freely and say that live in front of 1,500 people. That's a huge crowd. But anyway, she had a good time. And they got back about 1 o'clock. That's what my mom said. She got back, And with the youth, I said, well, the concert was at 11, and they had to wait. They only had 3 or 4 buses that would ride them out, and that's why it took a lot longer. The bus rides were free to and from where the concert was. It was probably, but they had to wait until they could get their turn to get on the bus, because the bus, can only hold about 60, 70 people at a time. So you figure 1,500 people, that's going to be some time to wait before you can actually get on the bus, Gus. But anyway, that's what happened there. And luckily they had a nice breeze, so it wasn't so bad. And I'm sure it was a good concert, rocking concert. I would have been wearing earplugs if I would have went, because I don't like a lot of loud stuff, so that would have made it more lower. But you can still hear everything around you with earplugs in. It just makes everything lower, that's around you. So anyway, everybody, hope you have a wonderful, I said this 3 times, may I digress, but have a wonderful day. But just to let you know what's going on here, the water is nice off the beaches at Moorhead. The beach was really nice. Lots of people were out there that day. Out there, it was a real nice parking attendant guy who lives there. I guess he owns the property there, but he allowed us to park there, and he allowed us to be able to get out of there real quick when we left, and that was really, really nice. He seemed to be very, very nice, and there were a lot of nice people there on the beach, and the sands were really, really clean, and of course you couldn't find no shells or anything. I think they went and picked it off there, but you had to pay $10 to park there. That's the only downfall. Unless you want to walk about a mile or a mile and a half before you get to there to go to the beach. It's probably best to pay the $10 because all you have to do is just get out of your car and just walk a few feet, and you're right there in the ocean front in the water. So there's some pros and cons to that, but yeah, I guess $10 is worth it. You get to stay there all day. So if you leave, you let him know, and he'll know that you're there, and then you can come back, and you don't have to pay $10 again. It's good for all day. So if you get there at 8 o'clock in the morning, or whenever you get there, you get to have it till the end of that day. So it's like if you leave to go get some lunch or whatever, and you come back, you still have your parking spot. So that's really nice. From what I understand, is what the guy said. But anyway, you ought to go to Moorhead Beach. It's really nice in North Carolina. Very nice beach. It's the first time I've ever been to that beach. I've been to other beaches in North Carolina. Doug's got some good beaches too, and they're free. The beaches there were totally free. So it just depends on where you go, I guess. Um, but anyway, be careful. Drink liquids today. It's going to be hot if you're working outside, and you know, wear light, loose-fitting clothing, and try to drink a lot of water and stay away from the tea and caffeine and sodas and stuff because that will dehydrate you quicker than a heart attack. If you plan to drink some of that, drink it when you're inside, but also drink water behind it so you can get the water benefit is to flush all the impurity stuff out from the caffeine and all, but it would also dilute it. And then, because you should always chase water behind that anyway, because especially on hot days like this, it's too hot to be out there walking a long distance today. Feels like an oven outside. It's real humid. It's like pea soup. And like I said, where I live, we're around two rivers, and sometimes storms can come up off these rivers that you don't get and everywhere else inland, because when you have water, the chance of storms, the percentage of them forming in your area goes up a lot more because you're near something that would help fuel storms, because water is what does that. So that's just something to think about. There's a lot of rivers and deltas through North Carolina. Everywhere you go, there's a bunches of them. So that's why we have a lot of rain too. The rain goes up because of the water naturally in the area. But outside it's mostly clear. It's got blue skies, and there's some chemtrails out there, and there's also some normal like natural clouds. But there's a lot of chemtrails out there, especially around where the sun is. And the sun looks white; it doesn't look yellow anymore. And the sky doesn't look like a true blue like it used to look. I mean, it has some of the true blue up there, but there's a lot of metals up there that don't belong up there that the military and other government groups have put up there. And this is going on at a global scale. And, this is what you're breathing in, because all that stuff eventually has to fall back to the earth. As it does participate, it just kind of goes down. They release it real high up in the atmosphere, and it gathers around. That's what helps develop or tries to stop storms from forming. But God is God, and God can still make storms to form anyway, because God has control over the weather really still anyway. Because even when they try to seed a storm to get it to develop, God can actually make it not develop, because God does things too. And that's why they don't develop, no matter what man tries to act like they're God, like with the controlling the weather or trying to steal weather from different places of the world. That's why places are getting hotter, because that's another way of warfare, to try to move people from areas, is to make it real hot and dry, and to make it so that people have to go to these camps or go to certain areas. And that's the way they would probably try to manipulate that, so that other entities could come in and buy up the land on pennies of a dollar, because they would create this artificial like weather, like phantom. And in some areas it could be really going on for real, but you don't know that, because it's all part of the plan to overtake the world with this new world order mess. And the thing is, it's really scary. I like what the Health Ranger said on his podcast. I think I streamed that video on Facebook and on Google Plus the night before last. You should look at that video, because he said a lot of stuff, but he's right on. And it's not to scare you, but to inform you. The same reason what I do here on my channel. It's not to scare anyone. But if you don't like it, just stop it and don't listen to it. Or you can always watch your other videos, or go play your video games and go back and go to sleep. Or you can listen to it and prepare for what is coming. And that's all these videos are for, is to help you prepare and to be in the know. not to scare you or to alarm you or panic you, but you need to know what's going on as a template to help to deal with it. I mean, if you've been unrest, if you've been having a lot of unrestly feelings and and you've been having trouble sleeping, you're not alone, because there's a lot of things going on in the world that are not exactly good or right. And the world is a lot of things are going out of control. Lots of protests going on. Lots of people trying to cause fighting. Like the Tiva group wants to fight everybody against their freedom. They want to shut Christians, and they want to shut anybody that's Christian down. Libertarians. They want to shut down any type of people that have a different view from what their view is, and that's wrong, because freedom of speech covers everybody, whether they have a certain view or whether you have a view. They may not like your view, that's why they want to silence you, but really you have just as much right to talk just like they do. But according to them, the liberal tards, the snowflakes, they make up these groups, that are in these Black Panthers or Black Anonymous, or for Black, or not anonymous, but I meant to say anonymous is good. But I mean the ones that say blacks only matter, or on any of those groups, or the feminist groups. All these people just want to try to shut people up, and they just want to cause division. And I want to tell you, they want to cause people to pull out their guns and start firing. But like the guy said on Health Rangers, anyone that fires a gun is a loser, because you can do other ways of engaging people like that. I mean, if they fire a gun at you, then you can pull your gun out and fire back. But, the whole thing is to avoid that, because that's what these groups want to do, is get a war going on in this country. And a lot of times, like the guy was saying on Health Rangers, we are in a soft war, civil war right now. We're in a lot of places, we're in soft martial law right now. I mean, you may not think so, and you might laugh about it, but it's not funny, because we are in a soft martial law. You have to wake up and realize that, because that's what's happening, folks, in this country, whether you want to see it or not. And I don't like it. I think that's not freedom. I mean, we had more freedom in the '70s than we have right now. Way more freedom. I mean, people at one time could walk to school like people used to be able to carry knives in their pockets. Pocket knives. They carry those things in their pockets. Well, you go to school now, you get suspended for carrying a weapon like that in your pocket. That's a weapon, And of course, I always had one in my pocket, but I never pulled it out to use it as a weapon. I always fought with my hands. I never pulled it out or threatened anybody with it when I have it. And I had a pocket knife in high school all the time, and I never pulled that thing out for no reason. Yeah, so you pull this out, see it? You pull that out, boy, you get suspended or get arrested. And of course, I never pulled that out. I only use this stuff to open up, like coffee, and I got this at the Dollar Tree. So you need to have something to defend yourself. But I don't use it to fight people. I just use it to open up stuff. I had it over there when I lived where I lived before, and I never used it or pulled it out on nobody over there. Now people would lie about that, but I never did. I always use it to open up stuff, because when you get those boxes, it's hard to open them up with your hands, because they make it so you can't get into them. So you got to cut through them to open them up with a knife like that. It's perfect, and it works every time. I say that's my buddy. This is my buddy, because it does help me to open up boxes. It makes it a whole lot easier. Thank God for that. But I never use it as a weapon. But nowadays you get in trouble for just about anything. I mean, what are they going to do? Just ban cars? I mean, because you could drive a car and run it into a bunch of people, just like some nuts have done in these snowflake groups that are out here. They ran them into people in America and killed people. It's been in the news. They had one girl hanging off of the Statue of Liberty on the 4th of July, trying to kill herself or trying to cause an incident, but the people got out there in New York and got her off there, thank God, and nut. And but anyway, just to let you know, a bunch of protesting is going on all over the country, about blacks getting shot. And, there's a lot of that going on, and I don't know why, but there also white people are getting shot. I don't see a lot of protesting going on about a bunch of white people getting shot, but a lot of black people, for some reason, seem to be having lots of protests. I mean, it's kind of weird, They make a big deal about it. It's like, Obama took away freedom, but then, when Trump does something, oh man, all pandemonium breaks out. Everybody wants to go after him and try to take him out of office just for, putting a wall up and wanting to have our border secure and wanting to do good things for this country for the first time in years. He's reversing a lot of that stuff that has been done from the presidents before that were bad and not good for this country, and they just want to stop them any way they can. And it's just so wrong. But anyway, this is just some of the news. Take care, everyone. Peace. Stay cool. I love you. And God bless.